That won't happen until someone manages to kill either Paulo or Vice Overseer.
We've made much greater use of vertical space for Dishonored 2, encouraging players to explore the rooftops above the streets.
Dust out of my ears.
Dust from the mines.
The storm alters visibility for the AI and for the player. A random storm hits and Emily comments on it. Many of the security devices in Dishonored 2 are powered by wind, a unique feature of Karnaca, so here we're switching off the windmill to get through the wall of light. There'll be a lot going on in this next fight. Drop attack, guards climbing and vaulting, combat choke, and Emily using far reach to pull an explosive whale oil tank toward her from a distance.
You aren't going in! So dead! Let the road for you! Hey you! Come here!
Looking through the lenses of the Outsider's timepiece, you can see the alternate timeline. This is useful for solving puzzles, as you've seen, but it can also be used to avoid or take down enemies. You can watch enemies in the alternate timeline and then step through to execute your plans.
Against Nazis.
Oh, okay. Not animals?
No.
Oh, so okay, you only shoot bad guys. So where are we right now? We're in a level.
We are in, this is one of the earlier levels in Sniper Elite 3. It's not the very first one, but your main mission here is to take out that massive railway gun that's parked on the viaduct over there. That's the primary objective in the level. There are multiple secondary objectives, and the level is entirely open to you to tackle any way you want. So if you can see on the map here, we've actually started you quite close to the final objective. The actual start in the full game is like a long way down to the bottom left, so you can get some kind of idea of like how huge
It's a
the
massive
is active
world.
at any one time. So we've got genuinely emergent behavior.
Uh-oh.
Robbie is...
Here comes out.
You're gonna get some of your
infamous
yeah.
bullet time. Oh, whoa, whoa!
Oh, the
What is
star,
that
that's
from the back?
That's awesome.
That is one of our new features. New kill cam. That's our shrapnel kill cam.
That's amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was wondering how you guys were going to step it up to the next level. Shrapnel, very cool.
Yeah, we've got all sorts of new kill cams in there. We've got X-rays on melee kills and stealth kills. And what are you going to do here, Robbie? There's a suspiciously glowing red plank on that guy's
the testicles are vulnerable.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Swift, you played this on your stream? The other ones?
A third one, yeah.
I've watched a lot of this. You guys asked me if I played it. I love watching this game. It's one of my. It's so much fun seeing. It's a great spectator thing. It's going to take off as an esport.
Yeah, so this is it's got a bit of a different flavor.
Don't mind that at all.
Is there a Michael Jordan of snipers? Is there like a guy that you guys you had to do research on this? Oh man,
great!
That's one of our XA melee kill cams.
Gosh, that guy had a calcium deficiency. His face just exploded with a punch.
He didn't like milk.
Our hero called Ulf Eben, he has
He's on
concrete
ration.
hands.
He's got a very stiff hand. I see.
He does. What was your question?
Well, I was saying that like. So, I don't know. I did some research on sniping.
You must become when bullets will actually do damage to you rather than like knock down your health bar a little bit until you take a med pack, I guess.
Right. I guess you would say, right?
You have to be patient in sniping.
So you are an American Special Forces operative illegally behind enemy lines in the country of Georgia. The United States and NATO is fighting a proxy war against Russia through the civil war that's taking place in this country. It's an open world experience. Okay, there is a storyline that does take place in a particularly linear fashion. However, there is a lot of other open world activities and preparation that you have to do in order to be able to complete those missions. You have to prep for these missions, right? You can't carry, every weapon you pick up, right? So you pick them up for crafting and such.
Spot.
Okay, so now our spot is clear. We can get into position. You see there another stance that's suggested based on our training. This would be, but you don't have to use that stance. In fact, you'll see that Alex is going to take a different stance. So here's our guy. We spent the last few days learning about him and his movements. We hacked into their computers. We got his orders. We realized that he's unhappy about the speed that the processing plant, the enrichment facility is moving forward. They're behind schedule. And he's told them they have 3 days to get back on schedule or he's going to deal with it himself. We also know where he's going to be after today, the next couple of days. So if we wanted to try and take him out at a different location, we could do that. If perhaps we're happier, we like the city better than having to take him out in the middle of the military camp. But you can see the soldiers that have been here have been pushing, the foremen have been pushing the workers very hard because they're trying to get up on schedule, and they know the generals arrived, but they still didn't make it. They're not on time. There's only one way to deal with something in Russian military, apparently. So he's not a very nice guy, so we're going to go ahead and kill him. Another shot, another kill. Now the alarm has been sounded, and Alec needs to exfiltrate. He's going to go run and get the machine gun. So for the demo, we said, just for time, we're going to go ahead and send a Black Hawk in and exfiltrate him, pick him up. Also, choppers are just cool. But in the actual game, this will never happen. You will not be picked up by a helicopter that just suddenly drops in. You're now going to be responsible for your own exit strategy.
Ghost Recon Wildlands is a huge game, and at E3 2016, it was playable for the first time. After battling through the cooperative demo, we had a chance to speak with Dominic Butler, lead game designer of Ghost Recon Wildlands, about the world he's helped create and the freedom it gives players to fight a four-man drug war however they see fit.
What of what you're showing are you most excited for players to discover during E3?
It's a game that we're very proud of, and I think that's the most exciting. Rather than a particular feature, they're getting to see that co-op is there, and it's fun, and they see the opportunities in terms of vehicles, in terms of gameplay, in terms of approach. And I think in the longer term, when you can see those opportunities extended to the narrative as well, it's super exciting.
Tackling the game today, we did it a couple of different ways, and it really highlighted that you can do this any way that you want to.
The core thing is really about total freedom of choice, right? So it's about letting the player decide how they want to play, where they want to play, what they want to use, how they want to leverage the environment, the opportunities that are there. But it is a very dangerous and reactive world, so once the alarms start going off, that alarm propagation goes out, reinforcements get called, and suddenly you find yourself not dealing with 2 or 3 enemies, but a dozen or more. They're coming in by armored vehicles, they're sometimes coming in by helicopter, and so things can escalate. They can get really big very quickly if you're not prepared.
At one point, I freed some rebels that were in a cage.
Right, yep.
Can you tell us anything about them?
Yes, so the rebellion is there. They exist in the world. It's really the people of Bolivia that are trying to fight back, because their whole country has been taken over, right? So they're trying to fight back, but they're completely underfunded. There's a corrupt local government that are working with the Santa Blanca, so the people really have no choice, they have no support. And this is an optional benefit that the player can leverage, is to try to help build up this rebellion, to support those rebels. Sometimes in camps you're gonna find cages, you're gonna find them imprisoned. If you can get to them, if you can free them, they're going to take up arms against the Santa Blanca completely systemically. You don't have to tell them what to do. They know where the enemy is. They're going to start fighting back, and it's a way to kind of leverage one faction against another.
And we also put a name to the face of the leader of Santa Blanca, El Sueño.
El Sueño, that's right.
What can you tell us about him?
He's an unpleasant character, but he's at the same time the charismatic leader of the Santa Blanca. He's the one that led them to power. He's the one that brought them into Bolivia and helped them take over Bolivia, turn it into a narco state. but he rules through intimidation, through bribery, corruption, whatever it takes.
They got a beat on us. So when is Ghost Recon Wildlands coming out?
So Ghost Recon Wildlands will be released on March 7th, 2017.
Tell us, where are we? What are we seeing here?
Well, this is Dubai, so this is the beginning of the game. So the game takes place 2 years after the events of Human Revolution, right? So the previous game. The state of the world has changed quite a bit. So if Human Revolution was all about the golden age of transhumanism, the golden age of mechanical augmentations and whatnot, Mankind Divided is a little bit the opposite. So something really bad happened at the end of Mankind Divided, and a lot of people died because of that. And well, now we're kind of like, this is dangerous. This whole transhumanism thing is a bit of a danger if it's in the hands of the masses. So it's what we call the mechanical apartheid. So people are being, the augmented people are being segregated. They're being put in ghettos and stuff like that. And so it's a bit of a 180 degree in terms of the new state of the world. So you still play Adam Jensen, so you're an augmented kind of superhuman. And this time around, Adam really, he's become his own man. He doesn't really answer to orders anymore. I mean, he does, but he does it for his own agenda. He really wants to take up the fight to the Illuminati. He works for a task force called Task Force 29, for an organization called Task Force 29. It's an anti-terrorist not augmentation, but organization, sorry. And so he's going to find himself kind of like in the middle of the pro-augs and the anti-augs at the same time, and kind of play both sides for his own goals, if you want. So this is Dubai. This is the first map of the game. The city is in a pretty bad state after the events of Human Revolution, and there's going to be some kind of a deal that's going to happen. So he's with Task Force 29 now, and they got to figure out this kind of like contraband, this kind of like dark market deal that's going to happen. So as you can see, there was some hacking going on. So the game is all about hacking. It's about stealth, combat as well, and lots of social aspects. It's an action RPG. Lots of stuff to augment, lots of stuff to level up if you want. And you can really, really play the game as you want. You can even play the entire game